is up on the way. It's gone. Camden Lewis. I can win a ball game for you.
The DNA and their competitive character
can I sit back now?
Is something really, really special.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, CJ Verdell.
Football means a lot here. We want to turn up right away. We don't waste an opportunity.
This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show, presented by Carl's Jr. on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Visit your locally family-owned and operated Carl's Jr. today. Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. And by Country Financial. Protect what matters. From the Country Financial Studios alongside Mike Jorgensen and Joey Mack, here's the voice of the Ducks, Jerry Allen.
Well, you can't see the big smile on my face, but there is one there. Believe me, football is back. And one of my many companions in the broadcast booth, Mike Jorgensen. Jorgie's sitting right next to me. I can tell you're smiling because your eyes.
The wrinkles, and the wrinkles over here, too. That's what shows it all, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It's been a long wait. It's been tough going through everything that everybody's been going through, but everybody's been doing the right things, and because they have, we're playing football this Saturday. Oregon will host Stanford. The Cardinal come in 4:30 on ABC TV. We'll be on the air 2:30 with our pregame show. It's the Country Financial Studios. That's where I'm sitting. Joey Mack's usually in here, so he's let me borrow it for just an hour tonight. Head coach Mario Cristobal is sitting by waiting to join us in just a few minutes. We'll talk to him about this first game coming up. And, Jorgie, it's been a wild ride, and we're not even there yet.
Oh, but it's time, right?
It is time. It is definitely
time.
a
lot of prep work has gone in and a lot of safety protocols and everything, the due diligence that everybody has put in on this deal. It's time. It's time to be able to get out there and let these guys cut it loose. And I think the coaching staff and the athletic department, the university and city and county and everybody else have done such a tremendous job of getting it to this point. Now just one day at a time. But, boy, you can bet, and I'll tell you as a former player, you are antsy to get it going. Antsy to get it going.
I think I've heard the term juiced.
Oh.
Right. Well, I'm really proud of what the University of Oregon has done, the school, all the staffs involved, athletic department, coaching staff, administration. I mean, it's been phenomenal for them to, dot the I's, cross the T's, do whatever you're supposed to do. And that's why we have masks on. We're socially distanced. We're still masking up to make sure that we get all through this. And we're getting closer to that, obviously. Stanford, the Cardinal come in a little bit unknown. They've got some changes. They've lost some people to injury and some guys who have left early. Oregon, of course, the big news there, Jorgie, is that offensive line that graduated and moved on, the best in the nation, the best we've ever seen since I've been here, and I've been here 33, 34 years. So
and we've seen some good ones.
Oh, we've
right?
seen some great ones. We really have. But there's a lot back. I mean, there's a lot of skill positions back. The defense looks really, really good. I'm anxious to talk to Coach in a moment and find out his feelings on this team as they get ready to play Saturday.
Yeah, and how they've grown during fall camp. I mean, they didn't get a chance to really go through a full spring practice. The normal off-season workouts and the training schedule and everything else that they do, Jerry, not able to go through all those things, and yet you come back together in the fall like they have, and the shape that they're in. I'm really interested in talking to Coach about the way that they came back, because I believe they came back, as he's mentioned, pretty close to where he wants them to be, which tells you the due diligence these guys put in, the hard work that they put in. But just, again, all the things that have come together and the fruits of their labor got an opportunity to pay off this Saturday against Stanford.
He's talked about the culture so often. It's obvious what that culture does, what it means to this team. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We're in the Country Financial Studios. We're going to be here for the next hour. Carl's Jr., Oregon Football Coaches Show. We'll have our coach on with us next when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Carl's Jr. presents Charbroiled Double Deals. For just $2.99 each. What's better than a juicy charbroiled cheeseburger? Doubling down on beef. Get a double cheeseburger, a California classic double cheeseburger, or a jalapeno double cheeseburger for just $2.99 each. Part of Charbroiled Double Deals. 2 times the beef. 1 times the moolah. Only at Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. Offer available for a limited time only at participating Carl's Jr. restaurants. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included.
Experience the most mind-bending thriller of the year. Available at Redbox. From the producers of Get Out and Us, Rent, Antebellum. Starring Janelle Monáe. Successful author Veronica Henley finds herself trapped in a horrifying reality that forces her to confront the past, present, and future before it's too late. Don't miss Antebellum, along with other new movies, and make it a Redbox night. Head to one of the 40,000 Redbox locations, stream on your smart TV, or visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch. You're listening to the Oregon Football Coaches Show, presented by Carl's Jr. on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Everybody buckle up. Buckle up.
Let's go.
Buckle up.
Can we go to the store? Mom, can we get some ice cream?
Everybody, buckle up.
A lot goes on in the car, but you're in control. So only move when you hear the click that says they're buckled in. Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into the Country Financial Studio. I'm Jerry Allen along with Jorgie, and joining us now on the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line, head coach Mario Cristobal, who is, so I'm not sure he's able to take time to eat, but he's taking time out to talk with us. Coach, thanks so much for your time. It's great to see you.
Great to see you guys. Good evening, gentlemen, and thank you for having me.
Coach, first question for you is not a direct football question, but indirectly. I mean, this time we've come through, this pandemic has been trying on everybody from the world all the way down to families. You as the head football coach with a big family, where have you gained your strength to lead this group, your group, with your coaches and your players and your staff? Where does that strength come from? It's the magic O. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I think when you sit back and you look at the honor and the privilege it is to be a member of this whole family and organization, and when we had that much time to reflect, and I say reflect, we were working though. You really found more things to do during that time than anything, but you realize how blessed we are. So it's not difficult, and knowing that at some point in time, right, things were going to be given the green light, and so the whole time we were preparing, and so here we are. It's time.
Well, and that part of that preparation, a lot of it was Zoom meetings. What would you have done without Zoom going through all of this?
I would have maintained my 20/20 eyesight without Zoom. But it was very valuable, and it certainly turned into something that was a great recruiting tool, bringing families all over the country bringing them to Oregon, or I should say bringing Oregon to them at their respective places. And it certainly has just helped us connect with our guys, stay connected with our guys. And even now, moments like this where we have so many times during the week where our players says, hey, coach, can we have a quick Zoom? We like to go over this particular unbalanced set and how we defend it and whatnot. So it's a great tool, great invention.
You know, Coach, I think sometimes people get at this time of year as you start to close in on the first game with Stanford, so focused on the game, so focused on the opponent, the team and that type of deal. And I feel like sometimes the guys that get forgotten are the training staff and the medical staff that has worked so hard day in and day out to put you guys in a position. Talk about that a little bit, if you would.
They're relentless. What they have done, how they go about their processes on a daily basis, their care factor, their integrity, their effort, their passion. It is something to behold now. And think about this. They have kept the entire operation. Think about all those weeks in the summer, right? 10 and a half weeks of training that really no one mentioned, but kept everything in perfect order. And then to restart after guys going away for 5 weeks and to pick up exactly where we left off. And now heading into game one, keeping us in the state that we are. Incredible by Chief and company. And we love that. We wait for that text every morning from old Chief that says, all clear, all good, because we do our daily antigen testing. Stephanie and Chief and Travis and all these guys, they do an unbelievable job.
Coach, it's hard to quantify or compare. Maybe it's not fair to compare because you didn't have the same timelines, but how close to a regular end of fall ready for your first game are you this season compared to others?
Well, I think we're definitely ready to play a game. What you miss is the 7, 8, 9 consecutive weeks of strength and conditioning, which have always been such a big part of our program. Now, again, the stages and the setting is even for everybody, so no one has quite had that. I know schools, the semester schools start before us, so they probably had a few more weeks than we have, but that is what it is. I mean, I remember the day and age where, when I played football, heck, you sold encyclopedias, work construction, or kitchen knives all summer, and you literally pulled up in the parking lot with a sports shake, a donut, and a hot dog, put all that down your belly and went out and ran your 400s, your 4.220s, and your 16 110s and played ball. So, I mean, we've had time. We've certainly put these guys through a very challenging camp. We have installed our plant completely twice over. So we feel like we're in a position where we're ready to play some football.
It brings back some great memories, by the way.
You seem like that too, yeah. It's an ex-player right there, Coach.
Sports shake at 7-Eleven. The sports shake is big, about 600 grams of sugar carbohydrates. Yeah,
that's right. Chocolate milk and ding-dongs. That was mine. But, Coach, you talk about guys coming back in shape, and I've heard you talk about that throughout fall, how close they are, and that they are very close to what you normally would be from a conditioning standpoint. That's really a testament to their due diligence in the offseason and when they had to go home again to stay with it and the focus that goes with it. Really tip your cap to the team. I know we have, just based on what you've talked about.
No doubt. Today, the numbers that we hit the past couple of days are that of a normal Tuesday and Wednesday practice, during the regular season for the past couple of years. Sports science team was unbelievable in just finding a way to mitigate any risk involving soft tissue injuries, but yet still preparing and devising a plan to get us to acclimate us and then get us in shape to practice and then practice in a manner that we could be ready to play a football game. And that's where we are right now. So, but credit to a lot of almost everybody came back in great shape. And the ones that didn't, they found out in a hurry, they better push themselves to a certain level in practice to get there. And I feel like we're there now as we would to any game one. We certainly have to play probably more people to make sure that we maintain a high standard of execution and effort, but we feel like we're ready to play.
Coach, you lost some game changers off that team from last year. An offensive line that was this fabulous. Justin Herbert, Troy Dye. I mean, there are a lot of others. But you've recruited so well recently that you've got some true freshmen and some redshirt freshmen, even some sophomores. I would think that you're really happy to give them a chance to show they can do what the guys before them did.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, people don't mention, I feel bad for the guys that didn't get to go through with their senior season, because these guys returned for their senior season. The guys that ended up opting out for the last year once the season was canceled, or a guy like Panay, who this was his junior campaign. That's a pretty impressive group of men that came back to have a special season. And now that they moved on, what you see is, we may not be as deep as we were when those guys were here, but you do see some guys that we have recruited that are explosive, that are tough, physical, athletic guys that are prepared to play football and prepared to play winning and championship football for the Ducks. And there hasn't been any flinch. You look for that right away when you lose a good chunk of just really good football players and leaders, and you start just really challenging and pushing the team to see, okay, where is there going to be a break in here somewhere? Someone going to give in, and hasn't happened. They're resilient. They're they found their identity throughout the course of camp, and they're ready to play.
Coach, it starts in the trenches. always starts in the trenches on both sides of the ball. And in talking about the offensive side of the ball, obviously you're developing a group that doesn't have a whole lot of starts, but you have built it to a point where you feel, at least I've heard you talk about, 9 championship game-winning type of people that can play different positions along that offensive line. How has that come along? Any more than 9, or right now is that about where you are?
Well, we're trying to get to 9. We're about between 7 and 8. We think we can get to 8 by the end of the week and pushing to get to 9. We're accelerating that development a little bit faster than it probably naturally wants to get there, but we have no choice. We have to get there. So it's been, Coach Mario is as good of a teacher as I've ever been around. Best offensive line coach I've ever been around. I've been serving this year as his graduate assistant coach. I just kind of, help him out and make sure we continue to. But he is his level of technical and fundamental teaching, the way he demands these guys to have the type of eye discipline, the type of just play discipline that he has instilled in that group is awesome to watch. So these guys have developed in a big time way, and they have been challenged by a great defense. That front seven that we have is that front seven is still developing. We have some young guys there too that are showing up and that are really exciting. I think you guys are really going to enjoy watching these guys not only on Saturday but for years to come. So it's the right type of camp where iron sharpens iron. So I think the guys are more than ready.
All right, we're going to get a break in here, Coach. We'll come back with more, maybe talk a few names and some key spots on both sides of the ball. It's our Country Financial Studios, and we are talking Duck football coming up this Saturday, 4:30 at Autzen Stadium. Empty Autzen Stadium. We may talk about that a little bit, too. It's a game, though. That's what we're looking forward to here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
What's it like to grow with the O? At OCCU, we support Duck fans each step of the way by educating our youth with Lucky Duck Savings, celebrating independence with Duck Debit Checking, and rewarding members with the Duck Credit Card. That's how Duck fans grow with OCCU. Learn how you can too at myoccu.org/ducks.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Make a trip to the epicenter of Oregon wine country and visit Elizabeth Chambers Cellar. Our wines are crafted authentically in an old-world style in one of McMinnville's most historic working wineries. Let our staff lead you through a tasting of highly rated wines. Our newly renovated tasting room is chic and urban. It's no wonder people are talking about Elizabeth Chambers Cellar, now offering private seated tastings. Call us to find out more information or to make your reservation today. Elizabeth Chambers Cellar is open daily from 11 to 5. Find us online at ElizabethChambersCellar.com.
You're listening to the Oregon Football Coaches Show. Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart savings strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to our Country Financial Studio. It's our Carl's Jr. Coaches Show. Stop by Carl's Jr. for 2 juicy third-pound Angus beef patties and sizzling bacon on the new Monster Angus Thick Burger. Feed your happy. Joining us from his office over in the HDC, head coach Mario Cristobal. Coach, probably the most asked question as you get closer to game day is the leadership on the field from that quarterback spot. You've got a battle going on. Are you in a position to start naming somebody yet, or is that going to be who we're going to see when we walk out on game day?
I think it's better left that way, and it's not to run a covert operation or anything of that nature. It's just game one, probably the best advantage you can give yourself is just people not knowing exactly what you're doing. And it might buy you one play, it might buy you a series, heck, it might buy you a quarter worth of play where people have to make adjustments. So we like to keep it that way. It's just, but again, not trying to be secretive or just letting it play out because it's the best for our team.
Understand.
Got 2 guys with a lot of strength, though, Coach, and you don't have to alter much if you had to play either guy because of their strengths.
Feel really good about both these guys.
Yeah.
I really do. And hats off to them. Typically, when competition is introduced at all levels, right, we've all seen it. We've all seen it take a turn where animosity builds up, right? And this is one of those situations where it's brought out the best in everybody. And you see guys coaching each other, complimenting each other, celebrating with each other. And that's the way it's got to be. At least that's the way it's got to be here. That's the type of culture that we need to have, that we demand, that we have. So credit to those guys for the way they've approached this and the impact they've had on their teammates.
Whoever is at quarterback is going to have some skill position people around him. Your backfield, your running backs are all back and tremendous. CJ Verdell, we're going to have him on the show later. Wide receivers, same thing, and in depth at tight end. So whoever that person is going to have some weapons to use, aren't they?
They do. They do. Really, a lot of credit to those guys. The running backs, they've been around here for a long, long time, so you take them for granted. But not when you see them touch the ball out there. These guys are special. And that's another room that could have very easily, I remember being a graduate assistant in a room where I think it was Edgar James, Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis, Frank Gore. I mean, it was like every single Sunday, it looked like a meeting, like everybody waiting outside the head coach's office. I want the ball, I need to see the ball. And rightfully so, great players. And these guys are all excellent football players, and we find a way to get them all on the field so they could share snaps, and they're doing a great job. And then the wide receiver position, credit to the players and a credit to Coach McClendon, Brian McClendon, who has done an outstanding job instilling discipline, toughness, regimen, and structure to that room. And credit to the players for buying in and allowing themselves to be pushed and challenged the way Coach McClendon has. This group looks really good, made a lot of explosive plays in camp against a very good defense.
Against a very good defense, and you just talked about it right there, Coach, a defense that is deep and talented. One guy in particular, though, that came back. It felt like you got a 5-star corner out of Diomedor Lenore. What is he now? How does he take it to the next level? What is he doing to become a different player even in this year when he was already so good and played so well last year?
Yeah, something clicked in him where he just felt that he has a lot to prove and that our team has a lot to prove. So his approach to everything has just been turned up from a level of urgency and attention to detail. He attacks every bit of the processes, practices, workouts. We go thud so that we don't tackle to the ground. And when he hits you in thud and the way he finishes and tries to yank the ball out, this guy, he's on a mission. He's on a mission. He's driven, purpose-driven. He's been extremely humble and just a great leader and a great example for our guys. So I can't wait to watch this guy play. Another thing too, guys, is we all know we've all been there, right? Your body going into your senior year, it's another year of maturity, right? Physical development. And this is a guy that has been playing as a freshman. His body, his physicality is different. I cannot wait to watch as he goes by Didi now. I can't wait to watch old Didi play.
Jordan Scott looks skinny. I mean, he's still over 300 pounds, but, you talk about that maturity. Thibodeau, Scott, Phil, there's so many names, so many starters. My question is, You have the depth on the defense that it looks like you have, because it looks like you're going to be able to rotate a lot of guys.
Well, we'll see, right? Let's go find out. A lot of credit to Jordan Scott as well. He came back at 315 pounds.
Gee.
And a big thing for him was to become the complete player and the complete team leader. And knowing that, team leaders, and we tell our guys, we're very upfront. A lot of times I feel like when I have the chance to speak to you guys or speak to the media, it's like a team meeting. It's the same stuff. We echo the same stuff. We don't change the message. It's that team leaders, we need consistency in performance, consistency in leadership, demanding the most out of everybody, being able to hold everybody accountable, because the moment you don't do that, the whole organization goes sideways, right? And that's we're in an organization and an industry, I should say, that it's very emotional. Could be a roller coaster ride if you let it. So when both Demo and Jordan Scott, those guys have been exceptional in terms of that type of leadership, in terms of their work ethic, the juice and energy that they bring to practice. So I cannot say enough about those two guys.
And I get excited about special teams. I mean, I hate to say that, but when you got Mikhail Wright, you got punt returners, you got linebackers that are deep. And anytime you got a guy that's 6'2", 6'3", 235 or 240 that can run the field on kickoff coverage, on punt coverage, the depth at linebacker and some of those guys, DJ Johnson moving from the defensive side to a tight end, you got a lot of guys that can play on special teams that are athletic, big guys. You got to love that, Coach.
We do, and I got a point on special teams today. Cam Lewis hitting our 2-minute drill, hit a 52-yarder to end the 2-minute drill right down the middle. So he is another guy that has improved himself tremendously, as well as Tom Snee, Beatty, Cattleman. Both those guys have been doing a great job. Race Malum also is another guy that's done a great job. But when you combine those type of legs and improvement in their kicking and ball placement, along with some bodies that can get down there and cover and run, and that understand that we have to improve on coverage teams, right? We did not like the way we ended the season in terms of the way we covered in the Rose Bowl. That is an area of focus, an area of improvement, emphasis that we have got to show up a lot better. It's the first play of the game, and we got to do a great job.
Used a lot of freshmen, redshirt freshmen, obviously, but freshmen this year. Can you give us some names of some guys, some freshmen, some of the new guys, even a transfer that kind of popped that are going to be tough to keep off the field?
There's a lot. I have all these names in front of me, but it would take a while. It really would, I will start at wide receiver. New guy, Chris Hudson, special now. This guy's special. He really is. He can do it all, run by you, run through you, make you miss, can play inside, can play outside. He's been great. Up front, all those guys are just about in the 2 deep, and proud of them, because a guy like Faupe has lost 45 pounds since he's been here. 6'8" guy, so he's a monster. He's a huge guy. Logan Sagabulo, Jonathan Dennis, who has been here. JD's been here since January. Marcus Harper. These guys have done a great job. Jalen Smith has come over and helped us on the offensive line. He has been excellent. Going to be a great player. Gosh, I don't want to miss anybody, but at running back, Sean redshirted last year, but he played a little bit in the Rose Bowl and a couple other games. He looks awesome. Trey Benson looks awesome. The redshirt freshmen, I know they're not newcomers. They were here last year, but guys like Keon and Christian and Dorless, you saw a lot of Dorless last year. These guys are really, really good football players. Feel great about our rotation inside. Everybody wants to know about the linebackers, Jackson LeDuc, Justin Flo, and Noah Sewell, and they are all exactly what we thought they would be. Impact players right away. You'll see them on Saturday. Explosive, tough, big, physical. When they hit you, you feel it and you hear it in practice. It's different. Dante Manning, going to be a phenomenal football player, just got here as well. I could go on, but I guess that's a few names right there that pop out. There's more. I certainly don't want to leave anybody out, but this is like the stuff on the wall in that movie, A Beautiful Mind. There's like all kinds of stuff.
Well, you can blame us for cutting you off on it because we're going to run out of time. I do want to ask you this very quickly. 3 new coaches who have had an immediate impact. And Joe Moorhead, sounds like he's going to add a wrinkle or two here in the offense. Not a big change. What will fans see in this offense that might be a little different?
Well, he's been really good at creating explosive plays, which it reigns supreme right now in college football. Third down conversion rates. explosive plays, certainly limiting the amount of turnovers you have. And Joe Moorhead is an exceptional teacher, an exceptional human being, and a tremendous quarterback coach. And what you'll see is a very decisive and well-coached quarterback executing a high-powered offense.
Well, no, we mentioned Rod Chance and working with the cornerbacks and Brian McClendon, and I can just tell in your voice, I think Jordy can hear it too, you're a little anxious to play a football game?
I don't know if the word is anxious. I know I've been able to, I just go. I kind of just go, and our processes and the things that I keep myself continually working on, just ready, quite honestly, just ready to roll, ready to get these guys out there. It's time to go find out where we are. The entire country has been through all kinds of stuff, and let's go. It's time to go.
I can totally appreciate that, Coach, and I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us on the Carl's Jr. Oregon Football Coaches Show. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, and we'll see you back here very soon again. Coach, congratulations on holding everybody and everything together the way you have. You all have done a tremendous job.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Let's get out of here. Come back. Joe and Max up when we come back with CJ Verdell. I can't wait to see what he's going to do. His body has just changed. We'll talk about that. We also going to talk about the games that are being played in the Pac-12 this week. 6 games. Hard to believe we're actually finally there. Oregon Football Coaches Show brought to you by Dairy Mart and Lockmead Family. The local stop for fresh to-go lunch, thirst-quenching drinks, and award-winning ice cream. As always, go Ducks. Thanks for joining us on the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line. Head Coach Mario Cristobal. Let's go out of here. Come back. Joey's next with CJ Verdell. I'll intro that, and we'll continue on with our Coaches Show here in the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
When did business insurance become one size fits all? At EMC Insurance Companies, we've known for more than 100 years that businesses have unique needs. It's why from coast to coast, we provide insurance packages that are designed and tailored specifically for nearly 500 different types of businesses. Add our expert loss control and quick claim services, and you can see why customers count on EMC to help protect what they've built. Find an EMC agent near you at emcins.com.
Carl's Jr. presents Charbroiled Double Deals. For just $2.99 each. What's better than a juicy charbroiled cheeseburger? Doubling down on beef. Get a double cheeseburger, a California classic double cheeseburger, or a jalapeno double cheeseburger for just $2.99 each. Part of Charbroiled Double Deals. 2 times the beef, 1 times the moolah. Only at Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. Offer available for a limited time only at participating Carl's Jr. restaurants. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included.
Experience the most mind-bending thriller of the year. Available at Redbox. From the producers of Get Out and Us, Rent Antebellum. Starring Janelle Monáe. Successful author Veronica Henley finds herself trapped in a horrifying reality that forces her to confront the past, present, and future before it's too late. Don't miss Antebellum, along with other new movies, and make it a Redbox night. Head to one of the 40,000 Redbox locations, stream on your smart TV, or visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch. The ins and outs of all things Ducks. This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I don't know what I'm talking because you'll get a mask on. It's bouncing off the mask coming back into yourself, isn't it?
Kind of.
It feel
does
like that?
a little bit.
Plus, my glasses are fogging up. I can't see where I'm talking. Just love it. I love it. It's Carl's Jr. Oregon Football Coaches Show. Welcome back to our Country Financial Studio. In time for our Pepsi Player Spotlight. Joey Mack had a chance to sit down with CJ Verdell earlier this week.
Our guest tonight for the first Oregon Football Coaches Show, our Pepsi Player Spotlight, is CJ Verdell. So first, CJ, I got to tell you, this is odd for me. I mean, this is the first time that we've done one of these interviews where you're not sitting here in the studio. So how have you adapted to this landscape, and are you completely sick of being on Zoom yet?
Man, I've been sick of Zoom for about a couple months here now. Can't stand it. I really can't, but it's the world we're living in right now, so, you just got to adjust.
It is, for sure. I think that's a good approach. All right, well, CJ, I got to tell you, I'm going to brag about you a little bit, if I could, just for a second, okay?
Go ahead, man.
I mean, this is what I do, right? Redshirt junior, running back from Chula Vista, California. We know you well. One of 7 returning FBS players to rush for over 1,000 yards in each of the last 2 seasons. 4th among returning FBS players with a combined 2,238 career rushing yards the last 2 seasons. CJ, so I was reading some of these numbers, and it occurred to me, do you have 1 yard in your mind that you feel like, man, that's the yard that I'm the most proud of running for the Ducks?
I don't know if it's a single yard, but I know definitely that overtime win against Washington. That's probably one of my best moments right now.
Is that your favorite game that you've played in as a Duck?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. The energy was just unreal, just how the fans rushed the field after. It was just a crazy environment.
Is the runner-up a 200-plus yard performance against Utah in the Pac-12 championship game then?
Oh, most definitely.
All right.
Can't beat that, can't beat winning the championship.
So I want to point out a little bit of history here for fans, too, that you're one of just 5 players in Oregon history to rush for 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. Guys like LaMichael James are on that list, CJ. Mm-hmm. When you were choosing schools, did names like that come up for you? Like, did you watch what Oregon was doing with the running back position while you were in high school and growing up? And did that influence your decision to become a Duck?
Most definitely, man. I can't count how many games of Oregon's I watched on TV when I was back at home. Just watching how they run. Man, it was crazy. LaMichael James, Kenjon Barner, DeAnthony Thomas, those guys just doing some crazy things on the field. So definitely had a huge influence on my decision.
All right, I'm going to ask you just generally, take us back in time then to like 17, 18-year-old CJ. And if I asked him, why did you pick Oregon? Why did you become a Duck? What else would he have said?
Man, he would have said, just coming on the visits, just the environment, very friendly environment. The players that welcomed me with open arms. Everybody was very inviting. That's pretty much the main reason why I came to Oregon.
Everybody talks about the family environment sometimes, CJ. How do you describe that to fans? Like, take fans inside the Hatfield-Dowling complex for us, and what is the family environment like?
Man, everybody goes out of their way to get to know each other. There's no cliques or certain groups. Everybody's friends with everybody. Everybody's walking around the locker room, talking to different people, going to different sections of the locker room, trying to make sure they get to know everybody on the team. So, it's just definitely a great environment over here.
So I got to tell you, Shane Lemieux came up with this question because we do these interviews, obviously, with a lot of different student athletes over the years, CJ.
Right.
Shane came up with a question that I now ask everybody. So you're going to take a minute to think about this one, all right? Because Shane wanted me to ask him, who is Shane Lemieux? Very open-ended question. So I'm going to ask you the same question. Who is CJ Verdell?
I'll say definitely quiet at times. I think a lot of people say that about me. But charismatic, I'm definitely a friendly guy. I like to make people laugh. I love to laugh myself, so I always find the light in situations. Humble, I don't like to talk about myself a lot at all, to be honest. But yeah, I think those 2 things probably describe me the most.
So for somebody who doesn't like to talk about himself a lot, then I'm going to ask you to talk about the offensive line in front of you. First, let's start with the guys last year, CJ. I mean, just how special was it running behind that group? Probably the best offensive line in the country.
Man, I can't even put into words how amazing those group of guys were. You know, very dedicated group of guys. One of the most dedicated group of guys I've ever been around. You know, just coming in early, always doing everything right. You know, making sure they had all their assignments down. And then that chemistry they had with each other. You know, they was all a great group of friends. So being able to run behind them was just amazing.
How many steak dinners did you buy them over the years?
Man, to be honest, they had so many steak dinners that I didn't even get to go to. No, for real. For real.
So I gotta ask then, are we changing that then with a new era of offensive linemen?
Most definitely.
Okay. CJ,
all the steaks they can eat.
Good. I like it. You got to take care of the people that take care of you, though. Am I right?
Exactly.
Replacing 5 starters on the offensive line, CJ. I think a lot of fans are just wondering, what are the new faces like? What's it been like running behind this group at practice so far?
Man, it's been great. I can say the same thing about these group of guys. Very dedicated. You know, always going in, watching the extra film, staying after practice, making sure they get they get things straight or things they might have messed up in practice. You know, correct those things. You know, Coach Mario Cristobal is a great coach. You know, he's always on those guys, making sure they're always up to par. So I can't really say enough about those guys. It's great. Can't wait to see them in live action on the game.
We have more CJ Verdell with Joey Mack when we come back to our Country Financial Studios. It is the Carl's Jr. Oregon Football Coaches Show. Thanks to Carl's Jr. for being a part of this year. And we're back with part 2, CJ, after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Ninkasi Brewing is proud to be an official partner of the Oregon Radio Network. Independently owned and brewed in Eugene since 2006, Ninkasi is thrilled to launch Steady Orbit Grounded IPA, a better beer for you. Featuring a bright tropical and citrus flavor, Steady Orbit keeps you grounded at 4.5% alcohol by volume, while delivering that IPA flavor you know and love. Find it on shelves now. More information at ninkasibrewing.com.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Ducks football lives here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to our Country Financial Studios and our Carl's Jr. Oregon Football Coaches Show. It's part 2 of Joey Mack with CJ Verdell.
How about the running back room, CJ? I mean, you guys have so much talent at the running back position, and I'd imagine so much competition. Describe the running back room for fans.
Man, we're all goofy. To be completely honest, that room is probably one of the best parts of my day. You know, being able to go in that room with all those guys. You know, just watching film, talking with Coach Mario, whether it's we're making jokes about something or being serious and actually, you know, trying to make a game plan or something. You know, there's a great group of guys, very competitive. You know, we all push each other. We all want to see each other do well and succeed. So definitely a great group of guys in that room for sure.
Describe Coach Mastro in one word.
Coach Mastro in one word. Ooh, that's a tough one. One word. There's so many words. Really. But if I had to choose one, honest.
I like that. Now I'll let you describe him in a little more long form, if you could. How do you describe Coach Mastro? What's it like playing?
Man, he's probably the best coach I've ever had. You know, best running back coach I've ever had, best coach I've ever been around. You know, I can't say enough about that guy. I love him to death. He's helped me with a lot, definitely a lot. You know, personal problems, whatever it is. You know, he's always there to talk to. Definitely helped my game, elevated my game. And he's got me to the point I'm at right now, so I can't even thank him enough.
All right, I'm going to ask you about yourself for a second, okay? So bear with me. Do you think about personal goals, CJ? I mean, when you're out there on the field, you guys want to win every game. Do you think about any personal goals heading into this season?
Yeah, I set up a couple personal goals myself. I definitely want to be able to reach 1,000 yards this season. Even though it's a shorter season, I definitely put that on my head. You know, something I really want to reach. But besides that, I haven't really focused on too much on myself. I just want to make sure, you know, we go 1-0 each week.
What is the most difficult thing about being a running back at the college level?
Most difficult thing. Well, I'll say in our offense, we're asked to do a lot. We are asked to do a lot in our offense, you know, for protections and knowing who we have to get on certain protection schemes. So maybe protection in college football, I would say, just because you have to be able to read the O-line's calls and know who your guy is, whether it is from this guy to the cornerback side. You know, you have to be on it.
I've heard a lot of running backs talk about when they make the transition from high school to college that the pass blocking and protections is the most difficult transition.
Most definitely.
Describe for me what's it like in practice when you have somebody barreling down on you and you know that it's your job to pass block for your quarterback. What's going through your mind right before you get in the way of a dude going 100 miles an hour?
The only thing that's going through my mind is I better get this block or else I'm going to get chewed out. All right. That is the only thing going through my mind, because if I don't get this block, then somebody is coming after me, whether it be Coach Mastro or Coach Cristobal or anybody else. So I know I have to do my job.
If you could give your 17-year-old self some advice, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. Give my 17-year-old some advice. It would be to be patient. I'll probably tell myself to be patient. You know, everything happens for a reason. You know, control what you can control, and always be ready.
I think that's good advice. I think that's good advice in all walks of life, CJ, for everybody. I'm glad that you said that. You know, things are obviously a little bit different, CJ. We're not sitting here in person. You're on a TV screen over here to my left. Things are a little bit different. What's practice been like, CJ? Is it really that different for you guys with everything going on, or is the testing made it so you guys it feels like football still?
Right. To be honest, it doesn't feel different at all, you know. Besides the testing that we do in the mornings, everything else has been exactly like last year. You know, we go out there, we put the pads on, helmets on, and we go out and hit each other. So it's been football.
Is it going to be weird to not have fans at Autzen, though, CJ? I mean, what's that going to be like for players?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be something to get used to. But what Coach Cristobal has been preaching us is it's going to be up to us this year, you know, bring our own energy. So we're looking forward to that challenge, and I think it should be good. Who
takes over the shout leadership from Troy?
Man, to be honest, we have not talked about that. I think it's just going to have to be one of them things where the song comes on and whoever feels the need to start going out there and dancing, is gonna have to do it.
All right, I'm gonna remember that. I'll keep an eye on that moving forward. CJ, I want to ask you a little more personal question before I let you go. We always like to get to know your families a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your family. Get to know the Verdells, if you will.
Oh yeah, so my dad, he's a naval officer. He's been in the Navy for I think 26 years. I hope I'm right about that. Otherwise, he could get on me. Yeah, he's been in the Navy for almost all his life. My mom, she works at a substance abuse clinic for people in the military. My little sister, I have one sister. She's 18 years old. She just started college recently. She goes to Howard University, but they're doing school online, so she's at home still. And then, yeah, that's pretty much us four.
Who's the best athlete in the family?
Oh, me.
All right.
100%.
Not even a question.
Without a doubt. No, without a doubt, man.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, real quick, just a little thought on Stanford, CJ. I mean, what should fans know about your opponent this week?
Stanford's a great team. Always been well coached. We've had a couple battles with them these past 2 years, or the years that I've been here. So I'm definitely looking forward to a great matchup,
CJ, I got to tell you, thanks for being a Duck. Thanks for being here virtually. Hopefully we'll be able to do this again, actually in person. Go get him this year. I'm looking forward to seeing you hit that 1,000-yard mark again, all right?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
CJ Verdell, he is special. Jorgie, we got about 20 seconds to say, are you ready for some football?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
By the way, 4:30 kickoff from Autzen without fans, except for you. You'll be there because we'll be there. 4:30 kickoff, 2:30 pregame. From the Country Financial Studio, thanks to Carl's Jr. for our Football Coaches Show. Talk to you Saturday.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.